Hello everyone, it's Marnie from Books and Marnie. So, as it says below, this is going to be my catch-up on the books I have read since my last video. I'm obviously yet again behind on doing videos because, well, life, and I also got a new camera, so I've actually been fiddling around with my new camera and trying to work out how to best use it and what I can do. Yet again, I am filming at night, so I'm using just an overhead light from my room, so it doesn't come across so well. I'm going to try and get around to doing it during the day when the school day starts again, so I might have a better lighting then. Also, I want to talk about what I plan on starting to do next month. Every second Saturday next month, I want to do a video about kids' books, which I'm going to be involving my kids in after they've read some books to state what they believed was good and bad about the books. So hopefully every second Saturday I'll be able to post a video just revolving around kids' books and obviously, like I said, what my kids think about them. So, like I said, today is just a recap of what I have read and my TBR for the next couple of weeks. I am changing it. I am not doing a TBR at the start of the week and then what I've read at the end of the week. I'm going to be doing one at the start of a month, one in the middle of the month, and one at the end of the month, and just see how I go from there, because I've realised that I haven't been able to manage getting a lot of time in. If I can get time to do it, I'll do it more frequently. If not, I'll just stick to the 3 times a month. So, we'll get on with what I have read. So, I did read The Girl with All the Gifts, like I said in the last one. And for a recap on the synopsis of it, it's every morning Melanie waits in her cell to be collected for class. When they come for her, Sergeant Parks keeps his gun pointed at her while 2 of his people strap her into a wheelchair. She thinks they don't like her, she jokes that she won't bite, but they don't laugh. I gave this book 5 stars because I loved it. It kind of made me think a lot at the end. It is a very lovely read. It's well written, well presented, but it does play on your brain a lot. Like, even, it's been over a week, almost 2 weeks since I've read this book, and it's still playing on my brain, some of the aspects in it. I still find myself during the day thinking about it, even though I haven't read it in that time, like, in a while. It is a really good book, and I suggest anyone to read it. It is a dystopian book, and it is set in a zombie apocalyptic area, but it's not a gory book. So it's good for people who want to start reading like zombie books but don't want the gore behind it because they don't have enough stomach for it or something like that. Because it's not overly gory. There is like 3 little areas in it that are a bit out there, but outside of that, it is actually a really good read. It's not really in your face with the zombie aspect. And I really, really enjoyed it and would recommend it for anyone. At the moment, I'm recommending a friend of mine to read this. When we catch up, I'm going to be lending her my copy. But yeah, it was a really good book to read. And I really enjoyed it, and every time I look at the cover, it makes me think back on all the stuff that's happened in the book, which I won't tell you about because it will ruin it, but all the stuff that's happened in the book that makes me think through and just question everything. I was hoping there would be a number 2 to that book, but there isn't, which sucks, because there's just so much that could have came from it. So the next book is Children of Blood and Bone. This is another book I gave 5 stars to, and if I ever had to rate the cover, I'd give that 5 stars too, because it's nice and shiny and like very well done up. Even though a lot of people reckon it's a plain, simple design, I reckon it's actually really, really well done for this book. So, where are we? The synopsis of this book is: Zelia remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic, when different clans ruled, burners ignited flamers, tiders beckoning waves, and Zeli's reaper mother summoning forth souls. But everything changed the night magic disappeared. Under the orders of the ruthless king, anyone with powers was targeted and killed, leaving Zelia without a mother and her people without hope. Only a few people remain with the power to use magic, and they must stay hidden. Zelia is one such person. Now she has a chance to bring magic back to her people and strike against the monarchy. With the help of the rogue princess, Zelia must learn to harness her powers and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in Orisha, where strange creatures prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters. Yet the greatest danger may be Zelie herself, as she struggles to come to terms with the strength of her magic and her growing feelings for an enemy. So, a lot of intrigue. It's a really, really good book. I really loved it. From the moment I started reading it, it drew me in and I just wanted to get more out of it. I actually read this in a day because I was that into this book. Any spare moment, I came back to this book just to stay in the world because it was amazing, and the way it played out and the way it was written and the way the characters interact with each other was absolutely perfect. Hence why I gave it 5 stars. And I would recommend that read to anyone, including people that tell me they're not really into fantasy, because it's not just about magic and fantasy related. There's just so much in the book that can go to a wide range of people. Okay, so the next book I've got was recommended by a friend. It was actually more, she was telling me she was reading it, sent me a photo on Snapchat of the cover, and I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. Which is The Silent Companions. See, it's got a shiny cover. It's very interesting. I only gave this book a 3.5. Only because the ending was what saved it for me. Like, it was rather whingy and boring for me, so the ending was what actually made me give it 3.5 stars. Otherwise I probably would have just gave it a 2. Alright, so I don't think this has a synopsis anyway. It's a bit odd. No, it just has what people have written about it. That's rather odd. Okay. I'm not very good at doing my own personal synopsis on things. I tend to give away too much and I don't like to. But this is a very, very well... it's a suspenseful book. It makes you wonder and think, and even then when you're trying to think and work out what's going on in it, you don't get it correct. Like, it's just one of those out there books that you think, oh yeah, I've got it all worked out, it's all good, and it's not. It's completely different towards the end. I think this goes by... It's the main character's one woman, and she has a lot of stuff that she has to go through and a lot of hardship she goes through. The book kind of starts with a funeral, which is probably why it's whingy and it kind of drove me nuts in that starting aspect, because that's all it went on about. But outside of that, it was towards the end it got really better, and it drew you in. Like, you had to get past, I think, the halfway mark, and then all of a sudden things just started happening and you were like, well, why? What's going on? Where did all this come from? So it did get up to the 3.5 star area. Unfortunately didn't go past that. But so it was an okay read, and it's not one of my usual reads. That's probably another reason why I struggled a bit at the start with it. Like I said, me and my friends generally are polar opposites with the stuff we read, but I'm trying to branch out, so I'm trying their stuff as well. And this one, like I said, it was mostly the cover that kind of drew me in, and the title, because that's just intriguing in itself, The Silent Companions. But yeah, it was an okay book to read. More so the ending. Like, the ending was just amazing. This is another one that started out, it's called Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. I've realised that this is the first book I've kind of said the title and name of, title and author of. But anyway, this book was misleading in so many ways. Like, it was amazing. So the synopsis is, when Sarah meets Eddie, they connect instantly and fall deeply in love. To Sarah, it seems as though her life has finally begun, and it's mutual. It's as though Eddie has been waiting forever for her too. Sarah is certain she and Eddie knows everything about each other, so when he leaves for a long book vacation and promises to call from the airport, she has no cause to doubt him, but he doesn't call. Sarah's friends tell her to forget about him, but she doesn't. She knows something's happened. There must be an explanation. Minutes, days, weeks go by as Sarah becomes more and more worried. Then she discovers she's right. There is a reason Eddie disappeared. It's because they both failed to share one essential thing with each other, the truth. So, like I said, this was another book my friend was showing me and we were talking about. I took the name as something else. I took it as this was a ghost story, or ghosted as in they went away and they never came back. No one knows where they are. They're like wiped off the face of the planet of the Earth. But like I said, this book is very misleading. I'm not going to go into all the ways and how it is because they'll give it away. It is a lovely read. I did love this book. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4.5 stars. Only because, like I said, it's not something I'd usually read, so there was parts in it that made me go, oh really? I really don't want to read this anymore. But then I was stuck with it and got past some of those areas, and then it was amazing. It was like, I can't believe that stuff like that happened in it. So this is a book I'd recommend to a lot of people, even fantasy goers and all that, just because everything in it you think you've got worked out and you don't, which makes for a really, really good book and a really good read. And the author has written it so well. It's just amazing. Right, next one is Murder of Crows by Anne Bishop. So I can't actually read the synopsis of this or really go into too much of it because it's a second book. It is the second book of a novel of the Others series. Just the first sentence of the synopsis on this gives away the first book, so that kind of makes it hard. But this was really good. This was another 4.5 star for me. I loved how the characters progressed in this. I loved how everything, so much was explained and so much had just moved on from the first book. Instead of being stuck like some books get, this one moved on with the story and with how things are meant to progress, and even the characters. And even though 2 characters in it I was hoping would get a bit further, they seem to butt heads and fail a lot in this one. So I'm hoping in the next one they might be able to, I guess in a way, communicate more with each other. It is very well written. The characters are very, the interactions between them are really amazing. This book is a mixed paranormal world, basically. So it has all the paranormal creatures, shifters, vampires, that sort of stuff, all in the one area. And I love how the author's written them in and how the author's changed small little things, not major things, but small things, just to turn around and make the story a little bit more interesting. So yeah, this is a book I'd recommend to anyone who likes the paranormal side of things and likes to read about different paranormal aspects, not just one race in general, just because it's very well written and just the interaction and the way things go through with it. I do have a favourite character from this series, and I'm just starting to learn all of her secrets, because in the first one she was very secretive, which has got me on the edge of my seat. Sorry, my pronunciation's bad. On the edge of my seat, and I want to be able to go into the next book and find out more about her, as well as the 2 main romance, I guess I would say, in this. Alright, so this last book I read had conditions on when I read it. It's another one suggested by a friend, which is really good because I love it when my friends suggest books for me to read. But she read this book from start to finish. But she wanted me to read it not from start to finish, but from the way she worked out how it might go a bit more interesting. So when she read it, she told me all the starting bit to this book. Sorry, it's A Beautiful Lie by Diana Chamberlain. But she told me how when she read it from start to finish, all the interesting stuff was at the front of the book, and she thought that if it was set out a bit differently, the book would have that, it was still a good read and it was still a good book, but it would just have that slightest bit more to it, more intrigue and more interest, and it would hold someone a little bit more. So the synopsis of this book is: in 1977, pregnant Genevieve Russell disappeared. 20 years later, her remains are discovered and Timothy Gleason is charged with murder, but there is no sign of the unborn child. C.C. Wilkins knows how Genevieve Russell died because she was there, and she also knows what happened to the missing infant because 2 decades ago she made the devastating choice to raise the baby as her own. Now Timothy Gleason is facing the death penalty, and she has another choice to make: to tell the truth and destroy her family, or let an innocent man die in order to protect a lifetime of lies. So it was a really good book, and it had so many parts in it that you sat there and went, no, really? She can't make that decision. That's just, yeah. But see, like I said, I read it jumping around like my friend wanted me to, because she read it from start to finish. So I went from the start to just over here where the yellow tag is, back to the pink, and then over to the blue. I can see how the book set up the way it is from start to finish went, but I do prefer the way my friend set it out and the way I read it, because it left so much for me to go, no, how did that happen? Why didn't she, why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? So I gave this book, I think, 4 stars, because there was parts in it that I questioned. This book does have a lot of realistic aspects to it. Like I said, it's not my general read. I usually go for, like I said in previous videos, paranormal and all that. So this went out of my area, but I really did enjoy it, which shocked me a lot. Like, I really did enjoy this. Generally the cover would have turned me off of a book like this, because I don't like abduction books, and this looks like more of an child abduction book than anything else. But it was a good read, and I really loved the way, like I said, that my friend set it out for me, because that left a lot of intrigue and a lot of mystery behind it all. It didn't just throw everything out at the start, which I really enjoyed doing it that way. And yeah, it's a really good book, and I would suggest it for people to read, because it's not, even the cover makes it seem a little bit different to the way the book actually is. So I'd suggest anyone to read that one too. Right, so now it's my to be read. I'm not going to do all of them, because it could switch and change a lot, and like everything happens, life happens, so I might not get to some of it, not. So I'm only going to do 3 books. Oh wait, sorry. I'm still reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I'm most of the way through that. I'm almost at the end of it, which I've currently been really enjoying. I'm also reading Uprooted by Naomi Novak. They're currently on my phone, on my library app on my phone, so I can't actually show pictures of them. And the last time I tried editing a cover into my video, the video didn't upload with the cover. So I have to work on that before I'll attempt it again. But anyway, so now that I've said that I'm still reading those, I'll go on to what I plan on trying to read that's actually in book form at the moment. So the first thing I plan on reading is Gone Girl. I want to read this generally because I want to read the book before I see the movie. Like, I've heard so much good things about this on Goodreads, and like also on BookTube. Like, I've never seen a bad review on this book, and I know the movie's on Netflix at the moment, but I want to read the book before I see the movie, because I made a mistake once in my life to watch a movie before I read the book, which was Beautiful Creatures. So I forgot that the Beautiful Creatures movie was the same as the book, and I started reading the book, got halfway through the book, went back through and rewatched the Beautiful Creatures the movie, and it destroyed the book for me, and I just couldn't pick the book back up again. I've got so many people going, no, you should pick it up, you should, it's a lot better than the movie, you need to pick it up and read it. But I can't, like, I really can't. Like, there's so many things that I had in my brain when I first started reading it without realising that those two were the same, that just switched and wiped completely, and it destroyed everything for me. So I'll probably wait, like I've told friends, I'll wait like 2-3 years so it wipes out my brain again, and then I'll try reading again. But instead of making the same mistake twice, I've decided I'm going to read the book first, then I'm going to watch the movie. It's like The Girl with All the Gifts. I've got to find the movie for that, because now I've read the book, I want to see what the movie's like. So yeah, I'm interested in reading this book. It's another one that's not my general genre. Like I said, I'm more a paranormal romance in that aspect of things, not crime and other stuff. But because I'm branching out, I'm trying a lot of new things, and it seems to be fun. There's been quite a few that I've enjoyed, and some I haven't, but I've enjoyed a lot. And this, I'm hoping, is another one of the ones that I enjoy. The other one I saw everywhere last year on BookTube, like everywhere. And I'd already read her book, Daughters of Smoke and Bone by Lanny Taylor. Because I own it, I'd already read it. Like, I picked this one up in a library book auction last year, towards the start of last year, and I'd read it then, and I actually really enjoyed it. I do have to get around to reading the rest of the series. I've only read this one book in this series. But because I'd heard so much on BookTube about this book, when I saw it in my bookshop, I grabbed it, which is Strange the Dreamer by Lanny Taylor. and yeah, it's got a nice shiny cover too, which probably won't show up that well. But this is going to be another one of my reads for until my next video comes at the end of the month or the start of next month. So I'm going to try and get through this one and that one. But I've heard nothing but good things about this. There isn't that many good reviews on Goodreads about it though, which I'm very disappointed about. But I have learnt that not a lot of Goodreads reviews are overly the best to pay attention to. Because I did pick up one book called The Beast's Heart, and all the reviews on Goodreads that I didn't read before I picked up the book, I got about 3/4 of the way into the book before I read the reviews, were just bagging this book out, and then I found the book was absolutely amazing and lovely, and all their comments were wrong. So I try and steer clear of the reviews on Goodreads, but I still kill myself by going and looking at them sometimes. But I've heard nothing but good things on BookTube from all the people that I've watched about this book, so I'm hoping it's as good as everyone's told me it is. Oh, everyone I've watched said it is. And yeah, I'm hoping to get to this one as well. So that's everything I've got at the moment. Like usual, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you have any hints, tips or anything else like that, put some comments down below. With the kids' books and all that, if you have any suggestions on kids' books that you would like to see in my next lot of videos when I do start them next month, leave some comments down below and I'll try and see what they're like, because I'll read the books before I let my kids read them, obviously. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed my video, and bye!